Good evening. Hey there, Asher. All right. Good to see you this evening. Let me know how the audio sounds because I've got a whole new setup and I am trying to figure this out. Keith, thank you so much for the subscription. 23 months in a row. Wow. That is really, truly appreciated. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, no, I moved to a new audio setup. The only problem is I got to keep an eye on it because every once in a while the headphones it just like stops sending signal to the headphones, but the mixer is lying to me. T-Cat, so good to see you. Wow, all right. People coming in, so nope, that's not the window I wanted. That's the window I wanted. I'm doing well, T-Cat. I really hope you're doing well. Congratulations on a year of streaming. I saw the actually I don't know when the year actually filled for you, but I did see your end of year numbers, which looked great. It's fantastic growth in the for the year. But yeah, I have like an entire chair next to me with boxes of stuff that's like come in. And I figure, I probably should get around to opening some of these things. And now that I think about it, I probably should have a place to put the things after I open it. I really did not think this through very well, but that's okay. Yeah, Asher, I have an interesting problem in the fact that I live by myself and I have nobody to tell me no. You know, good job, minimal expenses, and an appalling lack of self control. So let's get started. First box. This is actually probably a Paizo, something that I picked up to start rounding off my collection because I have started playing a lot of Pathfinder 2E. Oh, at least some Pathfinder 2E, and there would be an interesting way to open this box. Well, there's my other problem. I also buy the PDFs too, so, All right, so what do we have here? Ah, this would have been great for the last campaign. This is Pathfinder 2E, the Impossible Lands. So we had just finished up a Outlaws of Alkenstar campaign, run on Roll for Perception, levels 1 through 10. And this actually covers the various lands that the game was set in. Includes the the undead land, the magic destroyed land, and I can never remember which is which. Oh, the undead land is Geb, the haunted nation of Geb. The city of Alkenstar is also detailed in here. Regions of Galarian. Yeah, yeah. No, Galarian has a lot of really interesting places, depending on what you're looking for. But yeah, so let's read the back of it. Embrace the unnatural. A war between two undying wizards raged on for thousands of years. Karen, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Though peace has now reigned for millennia, the ghosts of their atrocities still haunt every corner of the land they touched. Everyday people live their day to day in a land that defies logic, praying the specters of history won't rise again to plunge them back into chaos and carnage. Explore a world where cities are built on foundations of genies and wishes, where undead legions clash against titanic war engines forged from flesh. Travel a region where magic still writhes and roils from the wounds inflicted on it. From the cavern depths where all spells lie dead, to the scarred desert where the slightest arcane spark can erupt a maelstrom. Can your heroes make their mark on a land ruled by the cruel egos of so many others in the heart of the impossible lands? So that's one. And again, that was to start bringing back the, start to go over some of the stuff that I didn't already have. This next one is definitely TLG, and actually, let me do this TLG one first. Ooh. Good evening, everyone. Great to see everyone. Thank you for dropping in. Just doing a bit of an unboxing tonight. I've got a lot of stuff that's come in, and I do believe this is probably this is the first of the re-releases of the Gygax stuff. And of course, the other thing I didn't think about is the mess that this is going to make with all of... I love TLG's packing, but I really need to remember about the soluble. These things will actually dissolve in water. So, eco-friendly. But yes, Castle Zagig, Igsburg. And Igsburg and its surrounding area, the campaign setting. Yeah. Hey, North Shore GM. Ooh, and it's got the map in the back. Looks like it's attached. I don't know how that's attached. Oh, it's just a little bit of sticky stuff. Okay. That can easily be taken off. So let's do this. I'm not going to unfold it completely, but get the sticky stuff off of it, even though it's already made its mark. Of course, it wouldn't be a Gygax thing without heraldry. Oh, there we go. Gotta have some heraldry to it. So yeah, with TLG getting the ability to re-release the items from the Gygax estate, the second one hit the Hermit, which I believe is actually maybe a full-on campaign. I'm not sure. $100,000 on Kickstarter. So, yep, full-on map. You can give it a better, different idea. And I need to get that in front of me. There we go. Well, I was thinking about that, and the above everything else, the nostalgia is strong. I mean, there are plenty of people who still want a piece of the old school stuff, and it doesn't get much more old school. The fact that it's being re-released for being released as a C&C. But yeah, no, this is a nice looking book. Coming in at how many pages is this? Oh, close to 300 pages. Yeah, I got to hand it to the Shadow Dark people. I was not familiar with the game, and honestly, I am not in the market for another, another rule set. But they said there was interest, and they were not lying. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah, I agree. So, beneath the shadows of the ancient dreaded castle Zagig stands the fortified town of Igsburg. Its stout walls and cobbled ways give ample refuge to those bold and worthy adventurers who come to the Eastmark to plunder the dungeon depths of the Mad Mage. Beyond the protective covering of the town's walls and the deep waters of the Urt and Nemo rivers lie a vast rolling countryside from the glittering knobs to the lonely valley. Enter the environs of that most dread of magi. Test your mettle and make ready for the hero's forge that is Castle Zagig. So let's see. The book you hold in your hands is the setting for the famed Castle Zagig, the monstrous dungeons of which are detailed in the forthcoming 6 volumes of the series. I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to break it up fully into 6 volumes, or if they're going to, well, they might release in 6 books, but how many they're going to put together. Yeah, I'm with you, Ash. I'm at the point where I don't know. I can't see myself learning yet another one. I mean, I might borrow stuff, but even then, I still have so much 2E stuff I can borrow just for Castle and Crusades if I wanted to. Yep, yeah, there's all that too. So the book consists of the Eastmark, which includes the town of Igsburg and its environs, the town of Garum, and 60 different geographic locales, each with their own peculiarities and adventures. The map charts over 1,500 square miles of adventuring terrain, allowing the inclusion of Igsburg and environs into almost any fantasy campaign setting. Each geographic locale has one or more adventures associated with it, offering hundreds of different plots, themes, and escapades which players can take their characters on. All right. Yep. Nope. I mean, you're looking at my light and crunchy right here. I've got my CNC and I've got Pathfinder 2E. All right. Next, we're going to do is another lightweight. This actually just came in today. I'm assuming this is probably an adventure. This is, I think, my latest Paizo order in the subscription. So I'm assuming this is the latest adventure path and probably a flip map. Flip map. And hey, here we go. Seasons of Ghosts Adventure Path, No Breath to Cry. I'm not sure which in the series. Usually it says which number it is in the group. I don't think it's the first one. They got really, I agree. They got really, really good on Adventure Path. They do them right. So it's level 7 to 9. So I'm assuming this is the third one in the series. I know I have the others, but I just don't remember. And a flip map, plains of metal and wood. Yeah. Oh, did I actually show the Seasons of Ghosts? Amid the cruelties of winter, with knowledge gained from a haunted monastery, the heroes of Willow Shore are finally ready to take steps towards lifting the curse that's afflicted their hometown since the first day of summer. But now that winter has arrived, attempts to battle the supernatural forces that stand against them are complicated by the cruel realities of the year's most deadly season of all, the season of ghosts. All right. Now, for this is one that I've been waiting a long time for, and Chuck actually messaged me to let me know it was coming. So I would probably so I would stop bugging him. Maybe, you know. I wasn't bugging him all that much. Oh, baby. Here we go. So, yeah. First thing we have is the Codex of Arid Environs of Ostrag, which is really important because it is the longest. I mean, it's an adventure path. You know, it's an adventure path by any other name. It's, oh God, I think it's like 17 adventures or 18 adventures at this point, with more to come once Steven starts getting to mapping out the dungeon. But yeah, that they actually released a Codex of Arid supplement for it to describe the area. The Enochians ruled these lands long ago, back when they were verdant realms of unbelievable wealth and opulence. Washed away by history, only the memories and ruins remain. From the blighted screed in the south to the withing oaks in the north, from the plains of Akrathos to the red hills, these are the environs of Offstrag. Hey, Dirty Dwarf, good to see you. They encompass the sprawling wasteland of the gray swamps and the massive rivers that tumble down from the Grunlick Mountains to feed the quagmires below. The Toten Fields, Eastern Opens, and the moors, these are wild lands filled with predacious sorcery and beasts of unyielding power. In the midst of all this lies Offstrag, that dread tower of the Horned God. It looks over the land, poisoning all it sees and creating a wilderness of evil. So here we go. That's one of the pieces in here. We've got another one. The Barakian Coast. Another Codex expansion. The Barakian Coast lies in the south and east of the lands of Ursal. It encompasses the Longshank Tidewater to the Kepler Atoll, as well as the Isle of Ionis, the Anderoth Banks, and Isidorn Straits. They include the realms of the Seven Electors and the city of the Empress and her Empire Reborn. Though the Empire bears an imperious name, it is a disjointed realm of petty disputes, barely held together by the Empress's still growing authority. Barakia is a land of small towns connected by poorly maintained old roads and shrouded in forest and wilderness. From homesteads and individual farms to towns and cities, everything in Barakia is walled, for it is a land of very real dangers, brooding in the shadow of Offstrag, the tower of the Horned God. Too often creatures crawl from that dread place and wander into the south to malign the people there. But all is not lost, for this is the land of crusading knights, feckless adventurers, freebooters, and those seeking fame and fortune. The Empress offers generous terms, and the quays and wharfs of the coast swell with young blood seeking fame, fortune, and title on this, the Barakian coast. Then we have Offstrag Level 1, the Bone Pit. So yeah, all right, so it was 13, now it's 14. There might be more. He started they've started sending what you call it, detailing the dungeon. And how about that artwork? Gotta love that. So, Offshrag is the iron will of evil. It is a house of terror where dwells the shadows of darkness, named the Fell Beast, Unklar, the Horn God. You know, I originally on Fridays I started off running the A series, which eventually would lead to this. It was a lot more involved than I had originally intended. I didn't quite. I made the mistake of not really reading it over enough ahead of time to understand how freeform it was, which there's a lot of things I needed to know that I didn't know. And as the group grew, it became difficult to scale the adventure toward to them. So that's when I switched it up. From Bastion, he ruled the world of Erd for 1,000 years. Those long centuries saw Offstrag grow into an edifice like to a mountain, and one filled with all the nightmares and shadows of his, nay, the world's despair. Hey, the harem of goblins was actually in the adventure. I would like to point that out. Words I never thought I would read. Over 3,000 feet tall and 1,000 wide, it is a catacomb of unbelievable dimensions. Torn from the ruins of glorious Aliosh, lifted on high by his very might, it stands a heap of slag, dominating the sprawling swamps that cover the ruins of the old world. Offstrag is a tower of fortresses, but so great its size, it is more like to a city than aught else. But there dwelt the Horn God for his long reign, and to it came the damned, and he housed them in dungeons of horror and madness. And thus men call it, more than the pit of the Horn God, or his city, or his throne. Men call it hell, and so it is. The Bone Pit is the beginning of the journey into Offstrag, comprising the first of the Dread Tower's 21 levels. Hell. Yeah, 21 levels of dungeon. That I would love to see the group that actually completes that. Next, we got some maps. One of these is New Enoch and the area of Offstrag. Just kind of blown up. And then this is actually, I think, the Bone Pit itself. There we go. Interesting. The next thing I got is something I didn't think I had ordered. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay for it, but what the hell, they added it. Because I have all these. The adventures M1 through M4, Saga of the Ebon Staff. I have these as individual adventures, though. I don't know if these were supposed to be originally, had been, when this was going to be 5e, if they were including this as a 5e adventure, and they just gave it to everyone anyway. But a brigand and thief have slunk into Lord Wynn's keep and pilfered several valuable carvings. Lord Wynn is offering a bit of gold for the return of the stolen goods, but is offering a king's ransom for the return of the thief. The Blacktooth Ridge is no place for the weak, the inexperienced, or the fearful. The dangers there are many and rewards paltry, and this thief must be something other than a common rogue to head straight into the jaws of that deadly wilderness. The pursuit of the thief leads the party on a wild chase through the wilderness, from escorting survivors of Rakshasa to an abandoned city where lies the wondrous Ebon Staff. But to harness its power, one must cross the vast plains of Akrathos, guided by faith, desperation, or brilliant insight, to find the temple of the long-dead goddess Ampho Wan. But is it fate or happenstance, or the staff itself, that brings the wild hordes of the steppes to the very lands the goddess once held dear? And how to stop them? Thus, the tale of the thief launches an adventure of a lifetime. All right. Yep, 4 adventures, 1 book. Great cover though. I love that cover. I have to say I love the artwork TLG has for their stuff. The cover art, interior art. Next kind of goes. This kind of probably could have gone after, but what the heck? The Undying War maps. There are 40. Looks like 45 pages of maps in here, in color. Cool. They're not removable, so that presents a slight problem, but what are you going to do? You'll just have to remake them on some other system. And then the Undying War itself. I do believe this starts with adventure A0 and goes all the way through A12. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yep, A0, Rising Knight, all the way through A12, The Paladin's Lament. This book comes in at a, oh boy, 300 and something. 356 pages. So they they had released this, originally the Kickstarter was supposed to be for this being in 5e, but when the OGL debacle happened, TLG made a decision to change gears and do a release of this. I don't know if they actually did the 5e release. I think they had to because people, wanted it, but they gave no, that's right, they did give it to the 5e release. But they also gave the option to get it in CNC, which was not originally part of the plan. And one of the things that they did at the same time was they started to cut out 5e. So I think technically this might be the last thing that they created and released for 5e. But as far as the Undying War, the shadows of Offstrag stand all the lands of the East. That dread tower that housed all the raving madness of hell sits now in the midst of the grey pools, a monolith of evil and ruin. Though the horned god who built it is long gone, there are powers that reach far and wide into the lands beyond. Embark on an epic journey filled with danger and intrigue. The Undying War starts innocently enough along a tranquil river beneath the shadows of Blacktooth Ridge. But beneath the serene surface lies a world of peril and ambition that will draw your party into a battle of epic proportions. Prepare for the heart-pounding encounters, treacherous dungeons, mysterious towns, formidable castles, and abandoned fortresses. A wide range of NPCs and encounter areas, all set against a backdrop of untamed wilderness. As the story unfolds, you are thrust into a conflict between good and evil, led by the enigmatic Coburg the Undying, whose lust for power is intertwined with love and loss. The Undying War combines the previously published adventure modules A0 through A12. The epic adventures take your party from level 1st to 13th level, immersing you in the never-ending machinations of High Lord Coburg the Undying that all lead to the very doors of hell itself. Your journey begins here on the path to destiny. The Undying War awaits. The road to hell begins with one first step. Yeah, this is just like, wow. I actually have these in the individual boxes too, so I can keep that nice and clean and go through the old stuff and then just refer to that when something doesn't make sense. And we have one last box. It is a big one. Oi. And this one is a Paizo thing. And of course, this is filled with the packing peanuts as well. Great. Um, of course, this came as part of one of my subscription orders, so there is other stuff in here. The first one is more flip mats, Night Market and Shrine. So that's cool. Having more flip mats is never a bad thing. I got to take a look at some of these. Perhaps find some of them might be useful for me when I go to GaryCon. Oh, wow. Okay. It came with a miniature, which I was not expecting. A Gateborn Rogue. You're not going to be able to see that, but that's fine. That's very cool. You know, I always need more miniatures because someone thinks I don't have enough. Now, this is actually going to be 2 books. You're going to GaryCon. Excellent. I will see you there. Are you going just for GaryCon itself, or are you going for Founders and Legends too? Womp womp. We got to get you there, Asher. Well, good enough. I will see you at GaryCon. You know, we'll probably put together like a Discord group at some point as we get closer to discuss logistics and stuff where everybody is, and I will definitely let you know as soon as my games are in. I've got 3 games in. Are you running anything, or are you just there? Are you there playing? Excuse me. Because I have 3 sessions. I've got 3 Castle and Crusade sessions. There should be one on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I asked for 9 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully, I will get the 9 o'clock in the morning slots because that will allow me to hang out with people afterwards. There are so many people at GaryCon this year that I know that a bunch that I've seen already, a bunch that I want to get together with for the first time. And it would really mean a lot if I was able to get to see all those people. So, for those of you who are not aware, excellent. I appreciate that. For those of you not aware, Pathfinder for 2E, they recently did a revamping of their books. Now, when the OGL thing happened, Pathfinder, as you know, they joined with a group of others to come out with their own license to kind of mimic the OGL, but this one, a lot less painful. They also took the time to get rid of a lot of OGL terminology, and they took the opportunity to slightly revise some of the rules. It's not a massive change. Like, I've looked at my character that I have for the current campaign that I'm in, and like some of the terminology is different. Like Azamir are now Nephilim, and there's slight change to like the focus pool. But other than that, it's really just minimal changes. They took the opportunity to also revamp some of the books that first came out, the core books. So the first one we have here is the GM core book, which originally was called the Game Mastery Guide. So, but I guess they wanted to make a more of an emphasis on what is core, which books were core. Um, Looking to see if I can spot anything in particular here. Yeah, I mean, it's what you would consider expect. How to run a game, building games, the Age of Lost Omens, which is the time period in which Pathfinder currently 2E Galarian is taking place. Different subsystems, Treasure Trove, and there's actually another book that deals with the Treasure Vault as well. So, um, I'm sure there's lots of good stuff in here. And then finally, oh, player core, which actually one of the things you'll note is the GM core probably is the game mastery guide and a lot of stuff that was in the initial core rulebook that was more on the GM side, which is interesting because it makes me think they managed to slim down a whole bunch of stuff by cutting it into those two books because the initial core rulebook is huge. Player core. More great artwork. Gotta love the artwork. Oh, how about this? Okay. That is very cool. Very, very, very cool. So I know there were classes in the advanced player's guide, the core rulebook, and then the advanced rulebook. I get the feeling that there's another book coming because the classes in here are the very, very basic classes. Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Witch, Wizard, and then companions and archetypes. Huh. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for what the next, what's coming next in my subscription. But if you're looking to get an idea, if you use the tool Path Builder to like test character builds for Pathfinder 2E, you can now build them with the revised rule set or PF2R as they're now calling it instead of PF2E. That's you have to rebuild your. If you had already built one, you'd have to rebuild it from scratch to see the differences. And like I said, it for me, for my character, it didn't make a heck of a lot of difference. But yeah, that's a lot of books, and I really, really need to get around to like organizing everything because these books are taking over my basement. They're all over the place. And I've got miniatures coming in. Oh my goodness, I just realized that I need to lock down my Bone 6 order. Because what I really, really need is more miniatures flying around. I got some reading. Yes, TCAT, I have so much reading to do. So much reading to do. The first book that I need to read, and I did get a head start on it. I am 40 pages into the Pathfinder 2E Knights of Last Wall. And that's mostly because my character in the Monday night game on Roll for Perception, I'll give them a shout out. I probably have them here, but yeah, our Monday night game, we are off. I believe we are off until after New Year's. But yeah, my character's history really ties into the Knights of Last Wall. And so I've been reading that book. I'm 40 pages into it, and it already had me revise his character once because things didn't make sense the way I had them, or a couple things didn't make sense. Eculus, it is great to see you. I just finished all the unboxing. But yeah, no, got lots of stuff. I'm so happy to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Um, we're just talking about the game I play in on Monday nights. So yeah, playing a champion, and his backstory is heavily tied into the Knights of the Last Wall. So I've been reading that book, and then I need to read more on the city of Absalom itself because that is where we're currently based, and there's so much. You want to talk about a city that could be its own campaign setting on its own? Ooh, boy. Because there is a lot going on there. Um, then, you know, then I've always got more Greyhawk stuff I need to read because trying to run games. Trying to, speaking of which, one of the things that's happening is, we do have a game coming up on, it was supposed to have been this past weekend, but we had some real life issues get in the way of some people, and so it has been postponed to December 30th, the day before New Year's Eve. So we will be ending the year in good CNC fashion. You'll probably have more information on that in the Discord and in social media as we get closer. Beyond that, yes, Lagamundo rides again. Beyond that, one of the things that's coming up in February, the St. Jude's fundraiser that Lord Gazumba normally does the organizing for, it is being done earlier this year due to a number of people having some real life stuff, and as well as not wanting to interfere with Super Bowl weekend. So it's actually being done the first weekend of February. I will not be here for that, which kind of stinks on my end because it's one of my favorite events of the year. However, I talked to Jay, and I am going to be running games the weekend before, so I'm going to kind of kick off the fundraiser early. I haven't figured out how many games I want to run. I want to kind of gauge interest in how many people are interested in playing, and then see what times I can run, and then I'll just run as many games as I can because I'd love to get a head start. My plan, yeah, yeah. I know it hurt when I found out the first time, and then he had to move it again, and it hurt again because it actually made it worse. He had to move it once, and then somebody pointed out that was Super Bowl weekend, so he moved it again, and it happens to be the weekend that I go on my vacation. So I instead of the weekend I was coming back where I could have at least taken part on the Sunday, it's the weekend I leave. So yeah, I'll be gone the entire time. What I'm going to be doing is, and the incentive that I'm going to be giving, I'm going to see if I can, do stuff like giveaways. I'll probably be talking to Troller Games about giveaways for it. And maybe if I can get somebody else for giveaways, that'd be awesome. But the other thing I'm going to be doing is I will be, whatever the total we raise for that weekend, I will be matching the contributions that weekend up to, I think it's going to be up to $3,000. So if we raise $3,000 that weekend, we will start off we will head into the next weekend with 6,000 towards the total. If we raise more than 3,000 that weekend, well, great. Then we'll have whatever we raise plus the 3,000 that I put in, and send it to the next weekend. So that is the plan. Um, and yeah, I hope I can get the games in the way. I hope we can get enough support and get a nice big head start on the fundraising, and we will go from there. But yeah, that is going to be the weekend. What weekend does that end up being? It'll end up being the weekend of January 27th and 28th. I just don't know how many games. It'll either be Saturday and Sunday, or one of the two. I think it probably will be Saturday and Sunday as long as I can get enough players. Because I don't think I'll be doing anything else that weekend, knowing that I'm going on vacation the following weekend. It's usually just a weekend for doing laundry and stuff. Um, but yeah, that's the plan. So, it's been a good time. I'm looking forward to our session on the on the 30th. Well, yeah, that's the other question is what I'm going to do about the yeah, I may have to reconsider Sunday or do a later game on Sunday. Um, I definitely need to do the fundraiser thing one way or another. So I have to see, whether or not I need to um, figure something out about the Sunday morning game playing. For those who are wondering, Pat's pointing out the fact that I am on the TLG stream on Sunday mornings at 10. Actually, no, that's what we are 11 a.m. Eastern. I can never remember. I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah. Um, Knights of the Rose, a campaign set in the world of Air. Run. It's a lot of fun. Enjoying playing an illusionist. Because illusionists and CNC are cool. They're much more powerful than you would think, even at low levels. They can do a lot of different things if you play them right. Um, so yeah, no, there's that, and then again, Monday nights we are off for a while. I was supposed to be playing Dragonbane tonight, but the person who runs our game, who was just on earlier, is under the weather. I hope he's feeling better soon. Chad, I hope you're feeling better soon, bud. If you're still listening. So Thursday nights is normally a lot of fun. Um, and yeah, so it's all good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming up. All right. Um, well, that really was all I had planned. I mean, if anyone has any questions about anything, please feel free. I'm happy to hang out for a while. I don't have anything else planned. I think I've opened everything that I have yet to open. And again, Taryn, it is good to see you. Though I did see you earlier today. I appreciate you returning the favor. If and what am I doing here? Taryn does do periodically painting in the middle of the day. Taryn, are you on a regular schedule at this point, or is it more or less when you? Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I should probably know this by now, but I wasn't sure. I know that sometimes life gets in the way. Okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, Taryn does some amazing watercolor work, painting on stream, and it's always a nice listen. When you if you have the chance. Um, but yeah, it's so. Oh, one other thing of note for those of you who might be interested, Friday Night Crusades is now happening in my Discord. Um, the game has moved over. If you are interested, It is the easy, no pressure, at zero pressure game for those of you who'd like to have something to do occasionally on Friday nights at starting at 8 Eastern, going into 11 Eastern. Um, it is now being run by Sigland, also known as Jeff. He's been doing a fantastic job of running the game. I've had the pleasure of just being able to play and relax and enjoy it. Even though our characters are currently in a hell of a lot of trouble, because we do what we do and we do it well. That is, get into trouble. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it really is. You just we've got the rules for making up a character. The player's handbook is still free from Troller Games in in PDF format. Um, all the information that you need is currently in the Discord channels. Or if you want to join the Discord just to hang out, talk, chat, whatever, we're definitely glad to have you. It does not have to be for the game. You are all more than welcome. But yeah, we're playing every Friday night. It's been a good time. Getting to play a bard, so that's been an interesting thing. You know, I've gone to becoming a player, and then suddenly, as a player, my character needs to keep talking because, well, probably him better talking than some other members of the party because we'll get into trouble. But we got into trouble anyway, so who knows? And I think that's about it. So with that, I'm unless anybody has anything that they'd like to bring up and discuss, I think I'm about to call it a wrap. Let me see if. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure Lord Gazumba is on. So let me verify that. And we will throw him a raid. And again, thank you, everyone. Those of you who are here, who are chatting, whether you were chatting, whether you were just lurking, lurks are appreciated. There is no pressure. Thanks for dropping in, however long you're here. Iculus, it was fantastic to see you. It's so good to see you, bud. You are missed. And let's set up the raid. Oh, yeah, I have also, I don't know if I have a link for it yet, but I have also started uploading my videos to YouTube, and I really need to probably set up a thing for that. So anyway, with that, we are headed over to Lord Gazumba. Get your emotes ready, and see you on the other side. Good night, all.